gon' talk. Tamaiya gon' talk about Tamaiya.
Hello. Welcome to the Tamaiya Show. Today we're going to be talking about exploiting vulnerabilities. And I think that title is just self-explanatory. What is exploiting vulnerabilities? Well, what it is taking advantage of anything that or anyone who's less fortunate, who has a disadvantage, and you're trying to capitalize on that experience, right? So most times people do capitalize on vulnerabilities, but why do people capitalize on vulnerabilities? What makes us do that? Who are you when no one's looking? Why are you trying to get away with it? Okay. And going back to it, and a lot of the stories that I talk to you about, and this is also some in the profession that I work in when I work with people. If you are weaker in any way, which is intellectually, financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically weaker in any area, people will take advantage of you. They'll realize, oh, you're not that smart, or you're not that bright, or you don't know what you're doing. They're going to capitalize on your vulnerability. For myself, growing up, you guys knew my mother was in and out of jail and really just out of my life. I didn't see her for 17 years. But the point is, I was vulnerable. So I didn't really have a mother at home. So I spent a lot of time outside. When you have a dad who works, he's paying a mortgage, he's got 2 cars, he's got, bills, he's got 2 daughters. He doesn't have the time to just come and sit and play with me all day. So a lot of the people in the neighborhood exploited my vulnerabilities. What was the biggest one? Life without a mother. So I didn't have a lot of instruction. I didn't have a lot of direction. I wasn't the softest girl in the world. I wasn't polite. People did call me honorary, trifling, and mannish when I was growing up. And that was because I grew up without a close relationship with my mother. And then even for people who have relationships with your mother, if she wasn't giving you hugs and kisses and moral support and talking to you and giving you great advice and baking you cookies, then did you really have a mother? You know what I mean? A mother isn't just a mother, right? She needs to be there and caring for you. Same thing with people with fathers. You can exploit someone's vulnerabilities by taking advantage of somebody who doesn't have a father. You know that man doesn't have a father. You know he doesn't make the strongest decisions, or he's weak, or he's soft, or he's abusive, or he's aggressive. So whatever it is, people will exploit your vulnerabilities. They'll realize, oh, okay, you're missing something. So people knew I was missing that, and along with a lot of other things, a lot of other support. I grew up very young, very naive, and I had to learn my whole life, everything the hard way. I had to fight. I had to go through it. I had to do it to get through it. So people exploited that. They knew what I was missing, and they were like, you know what, we're going to take advantage of that. That is how I ended up getting put in a position to have to perform fellatio on family members. Important one that happened on this one. My cousin, not only would he abuse me, but he would also physically abuse my little sister. Now, I asked my sister, is it okay if I say it? Yeah. You can say it. Okay, I want to say it because I want everybody to know. It turns from abuse to torment and torture when another element is added, because now you're adding an element of, I will call it rage. I will call it, it's turning sadistic. It's turning dark, because now I hate you. Now I want you to die. Now it's like, oh, now this is now a game I'm playing. It's not Miss Nice Church Girl. This is a dark lady. And now I'm going to end up playing the game that you want to play because you wanted to exploit my vulnerabilities. So since you're taking advantage of me not having a mother, I'm going to take advantage of you not having a father. And I'm going to teach you how to play this game all the way to the end. So that's what I did. So I wanted to go and get married fast to show them, hey, I bought a car, I got married. You know what I'm saying? I have a husband, I bought a house, I have kids. I wanted to do all that really, really fast to show people, I don't need you. I don't need this. You guys exploded my vulnerabilities and I came back stronger in every area. I think I even rushed some of those things just to prove to them, hey, I'm still good, when really I wasn't. I wasn't good. They took advantage. Have I taken advantage of anybody? I would say absolutely. In what capacity? Not into the capacity they've done. But anytime you see anybody, it's like, hey, what's going on? Why are you doing this? Why are you taking advantage of me? Well, at the end of the day, it's like this. My advice is for everybody. If you have character flaws and you know what, I'm not always the right person. I don't always make the right decisions. I don't always do the right thing. If you're making a small decision, right? You see $1, you're like, oh, that was my dollar. You take the dollar. fine, right? That's one thing. But if people are stepping out the room and you're abusing people, you're lying, you're living a double lifestyle, no. You're exploiting vulnerabilities, right? So there's a very, very big difference between honesty, dishonesty, integrity, no integrity, right? And it's right in that crevice of exploiting people's vulnerabilities, doing the right thing at every single point, being the right person all the time, every time, saying the right things, doing the right things, even when no one's looking. And that takes a lot of restraint. And especially when you're growing up in impoverished places with people who are growing up without direction and instruction and self-esteem and self-worth, those things come up where you realize, wow, they exploited me, or they neglected me, or they abused me, or they hurt me. To be honest, that's a part of exploiting vulnerabilities, being vulnerable and not realizing everybody was young. Everybody was parentless. Everybody was directionless, and everybody was learning. It's a sad thing to learn, but unfortunately, just because you were a kid or they were a kid does not excuse them from exploiting your vulnerabilities and vice versa. So a big part of this is, do you owe somebody an apology? Hey, when I was young, or hey, when you were young, I did that. And I really feel bad about it. I'm sorry for who I was when I was young. I didn't know better. Sometimes that's what you need to go do to make peace with the fact that you took advantage, and you did. Now, if you didn't, you don't need to do that. But I do think for some people, it will help bring that peace and that closure, because you can say to yourself, you know what? I closed that door. I apologize. I was wrong. I was in the wrong, and I took advantage and I exploited your vulnerabilities, and I'm sorry for that. Right. And who I was at that time. I think there's a lot of peace that comes from that. I think there's a lot of closure that comes from that. And I think that that's the peace that we're looking for, that peace and that transcends, right? Above it all, to say peace passes all understanding. I don't need to know why you did all that when you was 13, but at the end of the day, I let it go now. Right. So I just want to encourage you today. If you felt like someone exploited your vulnerabilities or someone exploited yours, I want to encourage you to think about it. If you owe them an apology, apologize, and then leave it there. Just say, hey, you know what? I'm closing the door on that. I'm letting it go. I feel better about it. I got it off my chest. Thank you.
We gon' talk about it. Tamaiya. We gon' talk about it. Tamaiya gon' talk. Tamaiya gon' talk about it. We gon' talk. Tamaiya gon'